Hello, everyone. Today, I'm very happy to have a technical person with us. He's Prashanth Southekal. He is a data analyst who's also an educator, practical guy, and conceptual guy. So let's listen to him. Over to you, Prashanth.
Hey, Subodh, thank you very much, and thanks for this great initiative which you are doing. Hello, everybody. My name is Prashanth Southekal. I am originally from Bangalore in India. Right now, I'm based in Calgary in Canada. So, what I'm going to do for the next few minutes is share my experience, how I started my journey in India, and how I landed up being in Calgary now. So, just to give a little bit of context, recently or last month, I turned 50. So, so when I thought about this milestone, uh, there was a lot of thoughts that were going on in my mind. So I started writing down what does this 50 years mean for me. So I initially it was a few points, and later it became a few pages and multiple pages. So I thought, let me all put this in a book, and I published this book, which is 50 lessons in 50 years. So what I'm going to do now is share a few important things from this book. So I've broken down this book into three major sections. So the first section is a quick overview of my journey of where I was born, where I went to school, where I worked, and how I landed up in Canada and Calgary. Uh, the second one is this book is also a kind of paying tribute to my mother. So my mother passed away when she was 50. So when I turned
Wow,
50,
that's
when she,
too young, too young.
yeah, it's really too young. It's true. It's very unfortunate. But when she died, I was in my 20s. For some reason, I felt that I would never see 50. But with God's grace, I turned 50. So this book is also a tribute. The third thing is leaving a legacy. You know, the Picasso, who is one of the famous painters, he said that when you're born in this world, you have to do three things. One is to have children. Number two is to share knowledge. And number three is to plant trees, basically to leave a legacy. So I've done everything. So I've written three books, which you can see behind me. So they're all technical in nature. So I thought of sharing my experience in a kind of a personal book. That's just one more reason. And lastly, the clarity of thought. They say the best advice one can give is the advice he or she can give it to himself or herself. So many times I give advice to my kids, my friends, relatives, and all cousins and all those people. But I'm also guilty of not following my own advice. So this book, the reason why I wrote this book is a kind of a reminder for myself. Hey, please follow your own advice. so, so you preach a lot, but please follow your own advice as well. So with this, I'll start the first part, which is my journey till date. So both anything to,
No, no,
is it all okay?
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay.
And let me just say that I'm really sorry to hear that your mother died so young. It is indeed a big tragedy for any family. So, but having said that, please go ahead.
Okay. Uh, I was born in a small town near Mangalore in Karnataka. So I was to my father who was Harish Southekal and my mother was Aruna Southekal. Then after that, my father was working for BSNL, the Indian telecom company. So wherever his job took him, I even went there. It was to a few small towns in Tamil Nadu and in Karnataka before he kind of settled in Bangalore. So that was in 19 late 70s. So then I did my schooling in Bangalore, and I went to a school called St. Joseph's Indian Middle School, where which was famous for cricket. Because at that time, when I went to the school, we had India winning the World Cup in 1983 under Kapil Dev, and we had two people from my school who were part of the Indian cricket team, Roja Bini and Syed Kirmani.
Wow.
So they had come to our school, and it was a big thing that we had two alum from our school in the Indian cricket team. But having said this, our school was very well known for cricket. At any point in time, you had somebody playing for Karnataka or India from our school. Rahul Dravid was one more alum of my school. So I was also in the school cricket team. Of course, I was not as famous as Rahul Dravid and Roger Binny and all those guys. But I played for the school team, and I was a bowler. And in one of the competitions, I did reasonably well. And that was in 1987, and my name came in the newspaper, the local newspapers in Bangalore. Then my father got transferred, and we moved to from Bangalore. We moved to Mysore. I did my schooling in Mysore, and and then even my grade 11 and grade 12. And then I did my engineering and in Mysore University, and then I was selected in the campus recruitment by Kirloskar Electric, which was an engineering company in India, for their office in Bangalore. So after my engineering, I moved back to Bangalore, and then I did my after a couple of years, I quit Kirloskar and did my master's in the Indian Institute of Information Technology, which was basically master's in computer science. So I shifted from mechanical engineering to IT because IT industry was booming at that time. Then when I finished my master's in triple ITB, Procter and Gamble, which is a CPG company, hired me for their office in Brussels in Belgium. So that was actually the first time I moved away from Mysore and Bangalore, because till then, till I was almost like 25, I'd never been outside my home state of Karnataka. So that was also the first time I actually sat in a flight. I never sat in a flight till I was 25.
And
Uh,
first
that,
flight was out to outside India.
Correct. First flight
Yeah.
was outside India, so straight away to from Bombay to London.
Yeah.
So it was the first few years in Belgium was very different. It was a cultural shock for me, the way things are organized, because that was very much like a international atmosphere in PNG. That office had almost like 3,000 employees, and from 54 different countries. So I used to meet people whom I had never just seen in the world map, like Ecuador, Venezuela, and all those people in India when I was in the school. But now I'm really seeing people from those countries, and the way they talk and the way they crack their problems and everything. So I was working there for almost 3 years. I also started my part-time PhD while I was there in Belgium. So in the evening, I used to do a little bit of PhD, and of course, I love cricket, and I also played for the Belgian Cricket League there. And so I also had opportunity to work with some of the big cricketing names, especially from other countries like New Zealand, for example, Nathan Astle and Roger Toos, who are popular New Zealand cricketers. They used to come to Holland and Belgium to play in the cricket league there. So in 2003, my mother passed away, and I had to move back to India, and I joined GE. Then from GE, I joined SAP, which is an ERP company, and SAP transferred me for work to Calgary in 2009 for a project. So after a couple of years, I quit SAP and started my own company in 2012. And since then, I've been running my own company in Calgary, which is into basically data analytics, consulting, and education, where we help companies get value out of data and analytics, and also help them in their education journeys through training and all those things, mainly for corporates and professional associations. So this is what is so far since leaving SAP or starting my own company. I have consulted, or my company has served almost like 74 different organizations, from Vietnam to Spain to Netherlands to Ghana to US, Canada, of course, Canada as well. So this is what my journey is. Personally, I'm married. My wife works for a bank, and I have two kids. My daughter is 16 and my son is 12. And outside work, I love cricket, and yeah, I love music. So these are
So,
the two major.
so it's a story of great flexibility and opportunistic behavior, which is the modern age, not to be stuck in a groove, to do what is needed at this point. I mean, your mother passed away, you had to go back to India, which we understand. So you were flexible. You were not saying, look, this is my mechanical engineering is my thing, so I have to do this. I have to join. So Kirloskar gave you a job, but fine, you decided to move. So at every stage, what I see is that you were alert to the new opportunities and the new constraints also. We
Yeah.
all face constraints at different times, and we also face opportunities, and you reacted to both and made it work for you. So this is really a good lesson for younger people, that you can't expect your life to be linear. You-
Yeah, 100%, Subodh. In fact, what I find as one of the biggest skills people can have today is adaptability skills.
yeah,
That's one of the bigger, because things will always change. So if you are adaptable, of course, I'm also learning to be adaptable. So far I'm okay, but still I could be better. But overall, one of the best good skills for people to have today is adaptability skills. And I think the adaptability comes when you are kind of grateful for what you have in life.
yeah. Okay, good. So let's
Yeah.
continue with your phase two.
Yeah. The phase two was, so what I have done is I'm looking at my book, which is this book.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the book. So what I'll do now, just to not to become, not to be boring, I'll talk about my life lessons. So in this 5 decades of my experience, what is it I have learned?
Okay.
So basically, I have classified them all this 50 lessons, which is my book, 50 lessons in 50 years, into 5 different buckets. The first one is all about health, because if you don't take care of your health, it's gone. Nothing matters. Health is the most important thing. Next, number two is the life skills. Some of the skills are how to live a better life. The third one is relationships, how to build better relationships with people around you. The fourth one is career, how to manage your career. And the fifth one is about money. So when I was when I was in the university, I thought that money is very important. But later I realized that it's not money that is important. It's actually education or skills. Then I started spending more time in education. Then after that, I realized that it's not even education that's important. It's actually the people. Building relationship with people is more important. Now, off late, I've started to realize that it's more important than that. It's the adaptability skills, how to be adaptable to the situation. So I'm also evolving. I'm also learning. Money, I'm not saying that money is not important. Money is important, but there are many other things in life which are more important than money. So what I'm going to do is, instead of going through all the 50 lessons, I'll pick a few ones which are
Okay.
very important.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Uh, okay. The first one is take care of yourself every day. Take care of yourself physically and mentally. Eat good food, do some exercise, at least for 15 to 30 minutes every day. Take care of yourselves. That's number one. Now, number two, or not number two, the second thing which I would go is um, have a definite routine. So that means preferably go to bed early and try to get up early. So that means go to bed at least by around 10ish and try to get up before 6. So that's my philosophy. So uh, get up every day. Not that in the weekend you sleep till 10 or something like that, and you go to bed at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
After watching some 4 movies.
Yeah.
So have a definite routine. So that's the second thing which I would say. The third one, which I would say, which coming back to the life skills bucket, have a purpose in life, have a goal in life. So what is have a written goal and tie to your purpose. Not just think about it. They found this. They did a study and they found that writing your goal and reviewing it regularly is 30 times more effective than just thinking or talking about it. So
Okay.
write a goal and review it. That's very important. So writing it and reviewing it. So that's other thought. Next one is life is a product of your thoughts and habits. So what you think is basically what you become. So they say I play badminton almost like every second day I play badminton. Badminton is a classic game. So if you have to hit a shot, the first thing is you have to craft that thing in your mind. This is where I'm going to hit, and this is what the position is going to be.
Mhm.
And once you have it in your mind, you'll be able to 9 out of 10 times you'll be able to execute it in badminton. The same thing in life. You should have a picture, but this is what it's going to be, and this is what you are going to execute. For example, I'm an educator. I talk in many places. Last week I was in Warsaw in Poland, and almost like 500 people were listening to me, and I was on the stage. So it's kind of overwhelming when you stand when you go to the stage and you see 500 people in front of you. It's kind of nervous. So what I do is before the call, before this big events, I think in my mind this is what it's going to happen. So 500 people are listening to me very attentively. So I practice that kind of mentally in my mind that this is what the delivery is going to be. And when the real thing happens, it's going to be much, much easier than what you would have expected. The other one, life is like a marathon. It's not like a sprint. You don't have to spoil relationship with people. You don't have to burn bridges with other people. You don't have to look for short-term wins or whatever. You have to think about the long term. So think life like a marathon and not like 100 meters race. Treat every day as day one. So think as if, forget about what you have done in the past or what you were before. Treat every day as your first day, as your first as a day where you're going to where you're going to perform. The other one which I have, which is my favorite, is health, wealth, and time. All three of them, they don't come together. So when I was in the university, I wanted to travel. I wanted, that I sat in the flight the first time when I was 25. So I wanted to travel, but I had time, I had health too, but I didn't have money. So when I started working, I had health, I had money,
but
I didn't have time.
Right.
Well, but probably I think when I retire, what say 10, 15 years later, I might have the money, I might have the time too, but I'm not sure whether I'll have the health when I'm 70, 75. So all three of them don't come at the same time.
Yeah.
So what does this mean? The best time to do anything is now. Now is the best time. Live in the present moment. Don't wait for this perfect thing to happen. Don't wait. Oh, I'll do this. I'll be an entrepreneur once my mortgage is closed, or I will go for a vacation once my kids go to the university. There is nothing called as a perfect time. That never exists. It doesn't happen. The perfect time is now. If you believe this is what you want to do it, try to do it now. As I said earlier, more risk means more growth. So if you're taking risk, that means there is an opportunity for growing as well. Just looking at these other points which I have. The other important thing which I would tell youngsters is select your life partner wisely, because whom you select, whom you marry, makes a big impact in your life. Like, for example, in my case, everything right from morning to what breakfast I eat, what clothes I wear, which place I go to buy my groceries, everything is dependent on my spouse. And for her too, what she does is also dependent on your spouse. So make sure that you select your life partner wisely. So when I was getting married, I didn't have this advice about selecting a life partner. I just went, it was an arranged marriage, and my parents picked the girl for me, and I just married. So, but now things have changed as well. So when you have, so if you make sure that you select your partner wisely. So other thing is, it takes months to get in, but only a minute to get out. So what does this mean? So I have seen that as an entrepreneur, I work very hard to get contracts, but sometimes because of recession, sometimes because of competition and everything, I just lose the contract in just a matter of few minutes, saying that the work has come to an end. But basically, to get anything, you have to work very hard, and you might lose it in just a matter of few minutes or hours. So make sure that once you have it, you cherish it, you value it. Where you play matters. What does this mean? Say, for example, I'm a very good singer, and I want to sing for the Bollywood films. I can't be sitting in Mysore and expecting an opportunity to be a Bollywood singer. So I need to go to Bombay or Mumbai to meet the right people and to showcase my skills. When I was working in GE, my manager had told me, if you are selling gold in a vegetable market, it's your mistake. You can't blame the people who have come to the vegetable market because they are looking to buy vegetables. So they are not come to buy gold. So if you have gold with you, make sure that you go to the place where you are valued. Like, for example, the location matters a lot. For instance, if you take a packet of chips, if you go to a convenience store or if you go to a grocery store, it's $1. If you go to a convenience store, the same packet of chips is $3. If you go to a movie hall, the same packet of chips is $5. So the packet of chips is the same. The location where it's available matters a lot. So if you are a best Hindi singer and you want to play in the Bollywood, you have to be in Mumbai. If you are a best IT programmer, you have to be in the Silicon Valley. If you are a best soccer player, you have to be in Europe. So these are the where you play actually matters. So that's another factor. Other thing is entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years. There is a lot of good things with entrepreneurship. It gives you freedom, flexibility, and sometimes fun too. But it's not for everyone. There is a lot of pressures. You have to take care of your health. You have to take care of your cash flow. There is often some humiliation as well, insults, humiliation, and all those things. So overall, entrepreneurship is not what you see in the media, where you have Mark Zuckerberg and Narayan Murthy and all those people. There is a lot of failures with entrepreneurships as well. So overall, if you don't be carried away that you want this freedom and autonomy, entrepreneurship has got some has some price as well. So that comes to my next lesson. Everything in life has a price. Nothing comes for free. So you need to work hard to get it. For example, if you want to look like Tom Cruise, for example, you have to work very hard to maintain his body and maintain his looks and everything. If you want to become the CEO of a company, you need to be ready to sacrifice a lot of family time, a lot of time with your friends and everything. So whatever you think, whatever you want in life, there is a price you have to pay for it. So you have to find out, is it worth it? Whether are you ready to give that price or pay that price to get that particular thing. So overall, nothing in the principle of reciprocity, which is to get something, you have to give. So last one is the money aspect of it. So the second last one, if you want to make money and earn respect, create something, not just maintaining something. If you build a product, that's where the creation is, where there is money, not just for maintaining. So I was on a vacation to Taj Mahal in Agra. There I met a person who worked as a CEO of an company in Germany. So we were just talking, and he was saying something, the difference between engineering in India and engineering in Germany. So he said in Germany, the focus is all on creating engines and creating solutions, whereas he found that many engineering companies in India were doing the low end of the value chain. Of course, it was in much 25 years back. But what resonated me was that if you want to create something, if you want to build wealth, you have to create something. Last is money making is science, but spending is an art. You should be knowing where to spend, how to spend, and all those things. Whereas money making is something like you work hard, you work on the right place, and everything. There's some formulas for this. But spending is like you live for about 80, 100 years. So you have to manage that spending well. So, Steve Jobs has once said, right? I don't want to be the richest man in the graveyard. So, yeah. So take care of money is important, but also it's the way you spend it also matters a lot. So with this, what I did was at the end, the third part of it, I just wrote about 10 things which I want to do for hopefully the next 50 years of my life.
Yeah.
So I just identified a few things which I want to focus in the next 50 years of my life. The first one is improve my health. I'll just go with a couple of ones. Improve my health, build my company and look for an exit for my company so that somebody acquires my company, share more knowledge. I've written 3 books, which you can see behind me. Probably write a couple of more, especially on entrepreneurship. Help with my kids and with their education and the next stages of their life. Spend more time in traveling. So visit a few countries which I want to visit, like Japan, New Zealand, Iceland, and all those things. Learn a musical instrument. That's another thing. And probably I have lived in India. I've lived in Belgium. I've lived in Spain. I've lived in Canada. I lived in US too. probably spend a few years living in a different country, preferably Australia or New Zealand, to get a
Mhm,
different perspective of life.
mhm.
So that's it, Subodh, from me. I hope
Okay.
that
It's
that was.
thank you so much for such a personal and yet professional experience that you have laid out for us. You have used your own experience to illustrate the professional life, how you go from here to there and what are the rules, etc., that you follow. Uh, Obviously, those rules are the rules that have worked for you, and they may work for others too, or they may not work for some people. It's some variety is always there. But let me just ask you, uh, which country did you enjoy the most?
Honestly, I have lived in almost 7 countries so far. Uh, the country whom I love the most when it comes to living
Yeah,
is Canada.
yeah,
Uh, Canada has got a mix of everything. It's meritocratic, it's socialist, it's people are nice and everything. But the country which I miss a lot is India, because that's where my family is. My sister is, my parents, in-laws, and all are in India. So
yeah.
yeah. So
Isn't
but
Calgary a somewhat smaller town in Canada?
Calgary, yeah, relatively smaller compared to
Yeah,
Toronto, but population-wise, I think it's the fourth most populous city in Canada. The
yeah,
population is touching almost 2 million now,
yeah,
just of the Calgary city. But if you include I think it must be 1.7 right now. If you include
yeah,
the suburbs of Calgary, it might be touching even 2 million.
yeah,
Calgary is small. But having said that, I was pretty much raised in Mysore, which
yeah.
was a small town. And when I left Bangalore in 2000, Bangalore was not as it was today.
No, no,
So
of
Bangalore
course.
was also small. Yeah. So for
But
me, I'm like almost like a small town person.
it's
So I like it.
comfortable. Calgary, at 2 million, it's large enough to have everything available at your
Exactly.
fingertips. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You don't
Yeah,
need,
it's got the good university. It has got good healthcare. We are
yeah,
close to the Rocky Mountains. We got
yeah,
amazing nature,
yeah,
and everything. And we have since we have from Indian. There's a lot of Indian connections as well here.
yeah,
The Bollywood movies, they get released on the same day here as it is
yeah,
released in India. So so when
yeah.
it comes to Bollywood, and almost during summer we have all the film stars like Sonu Nigam and
Yeah, yeah.
Kumar Sanu, almost all those people coming every 2 3 years for shows here. So yeah, so it's got almost everything. But yeah, so I don't miss much when it comes to the infrastructure. The only thing I miss in Calgary is family and friends.
Yeah, of course. That's true. Okay, so anyway, if you have something else to add, let's do it. Otherwise, we can end this.
Yeah, if people want to reach out to me, the best way to reach out to me is through LinkedIn. Please connect me with me in LinkedIn, Prashanth Southekal, and glad to help if required, if I can be of useful to somebody.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Let's end it here. We can talk offline a bit. So, bye, everybody. I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. Bye till then.